what's up everyone? First wash, E92 M3. I'm gonna see what we're working with. This is just a routine wash. I'm gonna go and assess the car to see where it's at. My sonic cabinets are coming probably tomorrow, so I don't wanna mess with starting this process, having too much going on at once. And so what I'm gonna do is wash the car, just kind of see where it's at, maybe clean the interior up a little bit, just get it clean, and then we'll likely later this week, maybe next weekend, start to work on the full process where I decon it and assess it and correct the paint and wax it, seal it, and wax it. So today is just a basic assessment, and so we're going to start with cleaning the wheels, and I guess I'll do a good old-fashioned Matty wash and chat. Just sit here and talk you through what's going on here with this thing. Oh yeah, brake dust. I've forgotten what BMW brake dust is like. You know, it's interesting, and I've shared and talked about how these wheels are pretty jacked up, and people seem to not believe me for some reason. They're really not in good shape. I don't even know if they're worth refinishing. I might just get a set of new or newer competition package wheels. So let's see if our credit brush fits nice. Yeah, I'd forgotten about these wheels and how much of a pain they are to clean. But the barrels of these really haven't been cared for. You can tell because the rust from the rotors has etched and damaged the surface of the barrels of the wheels. This front left wheel is probably the one that's in the best shape. I think the car is going to do well by just having a simple cleaning for the first time. We got to get my other race glaze out. That race glaze that I have in there, which I like a lot, brush, is it has pearl all over it, so it won't work for this. Finally, my very first, the new version of the lamp. I don't know how many months I've been using it, but it's been a lot, probably 8 months or so, and it finally started to fail. I probably could have kept using it for a while, but it's time to break out a new one. It's been nice that now that I have a warehouse, our inventory, I'm starting to finally get to the point where we run out of stock on things less often. It's taken a long time to get to that point. Hopefully we can continue to manage that as it grows. Hopefully continues to grow. So I don't know, the car is waxed, gotta be waxed with something. So we'll have to strip that off. I've got my 200 more gallons of decontamination soap coming. I actually, right now, I have some labels floating in buckets with the soap to see which ones can stand up to. Make sure the labels don't fail. Yeah, these lugs have never been cleaned. It's interesting going and buying a used car like this. You know, my GT3 was used, but not used very. It only had 700 miles, my GT3 RS. So it's going to take some work to get this thing dialed into my standards, which I guess will be kind of fun. Fun to chase that a little bit. I don't really like these brushes very much. They tend to, for whatever reason, they get moldy. Maybe because I haven't used them enough. There we go, that looks a little better. Get it behind the caliper here. right, let's do the tires. Some shiny looking silicone junk on these. So this wheel here is pretty jacked up. So recently here, a couple days ago, I did a two-part series of podcasts just talking through what I was planning to do with this. So go check that out if you care what modifications I have planned for this. What I'm intending to do, at least at this moment. But I'll be doing some Brembo GT, probably slotted. I like the look of slotted rotors more than cross-drilled. Well, this is certainly a lot easier to clean these wheels than I remember it. Maybe having the right equipment is making it a little easier. This Incredibrush is pretty awesome. Getting in here. But the wheels that I do will be a lot easier to, whether I do MSO3s from Clausen or R101 lightweights from HRE, they'll be easier to clean than these, that's for sure. So let's do the face and I'll come back and do the lugs. There's all kinds of junk in there. It's going to be interesting to see. I've gotten a little taste in the sun of how bad the paint is. It makes you question. We spend all this time caring for the car when you can get a beat up car and redo it. All right, so we can take this car. Now these wheels are too far gone. But we can take a car like this that's been not mistreated, but not cared for at the level that I would traditionally care for it, and then restore it, bring it back to legit cleanliness standards. Makes you wonder why you don't just let it go. But this car was in Los Angeles, so it's probably a good reason why the wheels are all curbed up and chipped up. And then of course these brakes dust quite a bit, so it does make it a little harder than normal to care for them. Let's get in here, see if we can clean this out a little bit. So I got the exhaust chilling, just sitting there waiting. But I want to use all my new tools because the Sonic cabinets that I ordered tools, basically every tool that they have. So I'm finally going to have a legit set of tools. Really excited about that. So then we'll do the exhaust. And I'm also waiting for the ESS tune to show up as well. So I'm gonna do that all with the new stuff. So you can see the chipping, the curbing. The face of it's not terrible outside of that. The inner barrel has all kinds of rusting, which you guys can't see because of it's dark back there. But I mean, to some of you, this probably is fine, but to me, this is unacceptable. Just not a good example of the way I would want my wheels to look. And again, I'll be doing new wheels anyway, so we'll work on that. While we're here, let's clean up the dyno exhaust a little bit. It sticks out a little too far, needs a little adjustment. So I just use wheel cleaner on these, just like anything else. But these will be for sale here soon. We'll see about getting a box for it as well, in case I need to ship it. I bet you there's someone local who'll probably want it anyway. Getting it cleaned and organized and detailed The exhaust will be the first major modification. We got the keys figured out. Someone commented, which thanks for that, that the keys, when you do the comfort access, when you choose the option, they just have a battery inside of it. So I don't have to, I don't think I have to get new keys. I just got to put new batteries in. So here we go, first rinse. Let's rinse it off. Come a long way from when I was washing this car with a garden hose and a Gilmore Foam Master 2 in my first house. So you can see there's some sort of wax or something, or some sort of sealant or something on this thing. Get it foamed. Adams as usual. Telling you, the more time I have with this bucket filler, the happier I am with it. It's the way to go. Buy it once, a couple $100, have it for a really long time. I'm also probably going to make the call this week. I'm going to be bringing the buckets back, or the buckets to HQ. So we'll be assembling them ourselves instead of just drop shipping them from Crickguard. What that affords me the ability to do is be able to sell each part individually. So if you want to buy the buckets alone, or the grit guards alone, or you want to buy just 2 of the buckets instead of all 3 of them, or 1 of them, or whatever you want, we're going to be able to make it so that you can build it all a card. Whereas up to this point, we've had to drop ship. But the other thing that will happen is the cost will come down on the buckets, and then those of us that aren't, the California, you guys that are across the country, your shipping rates are a little higher. So what I've had to do is add an average shipping cost to the price of the bucket package. So that's why they're $345, but $50 of that is shipping. So the base price of the buckets will fall, and then I'm hoping that my shipping rates continue to fall. I just renegotiated my contract with UPS, so we're gonna be working on that to make it a little bit more reasonable to buy this stuff. The paint on the car, I can tell, is a bit of a mess. My wager is we're gonna have to 2-step it, so I'll probably have to compound the whole thing, and then, oh yeah, you can hear, wow. Crazy amount of contamination. I get this question a lot from people. There's a guy I was talking to, Jerry, this week about, his daughter was coming back from college. He wanted to clean up the car, but he didn't want to polish it and didn't want to go through the whole process. But he was thinking about, auto scrubbing it and then just, waxing it. And so I get the question a lot. What, can you do that? Of course you can. And it can work. So this car is all swirled out, scratched up, right? So we really can't hurt it all that much more than what it already has been. I guess you could, but we're really not going to beat it up much more by claying it or auto scrubbing it. So a procedure could be you auto scrub the car, or decontaminate the car. So do some decontamination soap on it. Use that. Strip it. Then auto scrub it. Or actually first iron remove it, then auto scrub it. So I could do that here tonight, but I'm not going to. And then do a quick auto scrubbing to mechanically decontaminate it. Then you can skip the polishing, just wipe it down with some IPA or some Car Pro Eraser, Geon Prep, something like that, some sort of alcohol-based prep, and then seal it and wax it. I would highly recommend you didn't do that and coat it, because you have a marred up surface and you're going to put something with some permanence on the surface. and lock in all those swirls and scratches and issues that the car has. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a big difference before and after on this sucker. So that is something you can do to, okay, again, let's say it's a car you don't care much about, or it's a friend's car, or you want to hold over for till the summertime or something like that. Or the car maybe you just bought, you're not ready to do a full correction, you don't have all the gear yet. But yeah, you can certainly just strip the surface, prep it. If you don't do the prep part, so if you don't at least clay it, then you're going to have issues with the product adhering. And so whatever wax or sealant, let's say you did something like Sonax Polymer Net Shield or Jescar Power Lock or something like that, you do that. If you don't at least decontaminate the surface, one, you're going to scratch it more because you'll be pushing dirt around on it. And then the second issue is the stuff isn't going to stick. It's not going to last very long. So I wouldn't recommend you do it that way. This is going to be fun. It's a good time of year to have to detail a car too, because it's finally cooling off in Central Florida. The hurricane out west pulled a lot of the, I guess probably a cold front follows behind that. So that's part of the reason why it's nicer out. What's up, baby girl? That thing needs to go in the trash.
What?
That thing needs to get trashed.
No.
No?
No. I'm in my bathing suit.
I see that.
Woo! Yay! Bubbles!
Florida snow?
Bubbles! 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 Yay! Bubbles! Yay!
So because this car
You remember when
hasn't
mine
been
had Play-Doh?
cared for by me, I'm gonna just wipe this.
Oh no! Look what's happening.
What?
Look what your things are going.
Catch them.
Here.
Oh yeah. Nice and dirty. Thank you, ma'am. Good job. This car is dirty, Katie Bell.
Dirty?
Really dirty.
I'm going in the dirt.
Yeah, this wasn't Daddy's car.
It was.
Somebody else had this car and got it all dirty. Did you know
That's why
that?
you're cleaning it. What's yours now? It's not there.
So what do we have to do to it?
What?
Since it's mine now, what do we have to do?
We can clean it.
We can clean it up real nice. Can make it really clean. You guys been swimming? You guys do some good
Yeah.
swimming? All right, watch out.
Bubbles, bubbles,
So you guys are gonna be real excited. First modification is which we'll do here tonight, is the removal of the strap on the gas cap, which is an ever popular move for me to get people to yell at me. Second modification will be, which I probably won't do tonight, the removal of the M3 badge. That's coming off, and that won't be going back on. So that's another ever popular move. I like badgeless. Badges just collect dirt. And it'll match my GT3 RS then. Man, I can't wait to get this thing cleaned up. Maybe I should just do it. Maybe I should throw some soap on it and just go. I'm talking about this strap.
It's past my bedtime.
No, is it?
No.
I don't think it is. So I'm sure many of you are watching on camera saying, why are you washing a clean car? First of all, it's extremely dirty. I haven't washed it yet. Secondly, it is really scratched up, which you can't see with these great lights out here. But boy, is this thing gonna photograph well once we get it polished. think this thing has some Lux Angel eyes on it. It must. Yeah, that'll make a big difference getting these cleaned out. Since that's probably not done very often. We'll clean the engine bay next time around. We'll switch to some deionized water. Always get in the habit of turning your pressure washer on, off the car, instead of pointing it at it. Just in case the nozzle flies off. I've also learned through a little bit of testing that this is 900 PSI on the output. That's the Obsessed Garage standard for pressure. So I figure if I get it washed up this week, I got to go down and get it registered. You have to take the car with you. So I'll go do that, get the cabinets in, installed, make some videos on that. By the way, if you want Sonic cabinets, I'm going to be the guy. Or a guy. Hopefully the guy. So call me and we can design it. I've got it all figured out. I've been digging into the catalog for months now. But no sense in rushing. You might as well wait. Let me fall on the sword. Let me share everything there is to know about it, or everything that I can figure out about it before you pull the trigger. Even though this doesn't look very good right now, I love blue. I love this color. This is my favorite. I want a GT3 RS in this exact color. Now that would be sick. It's a little bit darker than sapphire, a little bit more traditional blue. I love this color. I'm so glad I was able to get one, instead of getting a white one or some other color that wasn't what I really wanted. I don't know what it is, but the stars just keep aligning for me, you know. It's been pretty incredible. I just know a younger me wouldn't have been able to handle all of this, right? All of this Obsessed Garage thing, and I would have been way too, there would have been, you know, because there's so much pushback on it, and people are so nasty, you know, at times, and I would have had an arrogance about it, and I've been humbled so many times over the last 3 or 4 years that, and I just, things like this keep happening, and I would have attributed it all to me, right? So I got a blue, Le Mans blue, manual seats, speed cloth, set up exactly the way I want, reasonably low miles. It's probably, the 30,000 miles is probably a good thing for me. I'll probably enjoy the car more because it already has the mileage on it rather than getting some museum-ready example. But like I was saying, without the humbling of the whole, you know, obsessive compulsive disorder, and then, you know, leaving my job, you know, leaving my career behind, and all of this stuff that's happened over the last several years of my life, I wouldn't be able to appreciate and accept this. And, you know, there's a lot of nastiness in that. Like when I'm in the vlog and I'm sharing the appreciation for this, but I share the real, and I say, look, I mean, there's a scratch here, the wheels are kind of jacked up, there's lots of stuff I want to do. Some people misconstrue that as complaining. Really, it makes me excited. It gives me something to do. You know, it gives me something to chase, something to work on. And so I know that the vast majority of you really understand that, but you know, the appreciation I have for this thing is real. And we'll see. I mean, we'll see if this scratches the itch. It probably won't. Nothing will. I mean, and I've come to accept that that's just the way I'm wired, and I've really come to enjoy it. Enjoy the chase instead of being a slave to the chase, which I know some people still are. I probably was. I'm not a slave to the chase. I'm invigorated by the chase. The chase of all the cool stuff that I'm going to put on this thing. And then the possibility, the very real possibility, I might just punt it. You know, I might just punt the car and sell it, and maybe I'll lose money, maybe I'll make money, who knows. But the acceptance of that comes from the humbling that I've had over the last several years. So I know that my tone of voice and my demeanor and my monotone, very matter-of-factness, that I know that I don't convey that very well. So I hope to, maybe I should speak to it more so that people really understand, you know, what's going on here. I mean, think about this. I'm washing my car in my dedicated wash bay in my giant house and property that's like a dream. And then I get to drive down the road to my headquarters, and that's what I do. You know, and I don't work for anybody. I work for me. And I'm building something that I think people want. I mean, man, not too many people get to do that. Let's keep moving. We'll see how well this thing blows off. Another thing that I think I figured out, like I want to be able to provide this solution in the store. You know, there are lots of people. So many of you probably don't understand this, but there are lots of people that don't feel comfortable buying something like this. Even if I told you what it was, there's still that uncertainty when you're buying it from somewhere if you're getting the right one. And so I think the reason why Obsessed Garage does so well and needs to exist is I'm going to say, hey, here it is. This is what you need. And then there's no question this is the one. Instead of going to a retailer that has hundreds of different products, this is it. This is the one. This is the one I carry. This is the one you need. And then I can answer that in videos and follow up in questions and eventually have a staff of people that know the answers to the same things that I'm answering. And so the thing that I think I figured out is, you know, I stand in there and I make product-specific videos because I think it needs to exist. I want to create an encyclopedia of everything, right? So an encyclopedia of all of this information that I have in my head that some people know, but very few, or let's say very few people know it. And even if you do, sometimes it's good to confirm it that we're thinking the same thing. But I get that I stand in there and do product videos, it comes across as pitching, and I know most people don't want to do that. So I think I figured out how to do it. I'll just do more demonstration stuff, and then I can put that in the store next to the product, and less of just standing there explaining it. It's a lot more work, it's a lot harder to do, but I think it'll turn less people off, because I really don't want to turn people off that probably would enjoy watching me do some of this stuff. But there needs to be, you know, in order to create the vision, the encyclopedia that I want the Obsessed Garage YouTube channel to be, there needs to be product-specific things like how does this part or piece work, what does it cost, and then of course the byproduct of doing in order to afford me the ability to be able to do that, I've got to sell it. You know, I've got to provide the solution. And also no place is going to provide the solution for me, so I've got to do it. Anyway, so sorry I'm getting all diatribe on you tonight. Anyway, this is the Ego 530 CFM blower. Oh boy. This water isn't going anywhere. So at least get it out of the crack. Something we need to do before we do that, I just remembered. So before we dry the area on these rotors, I always spray Hyde's Serum Rust Stopper. And then as soon as I'm done blowing it off, we'll do the pull back and forth a few times in order to alleviate or slow some of the rusting of the rotors. So then I blow it off. To get rid of any excess Hyde's. That's the old roll back and forth, get the rotors from being jacked up move. So I don't want to put a bunch of sealant and stuff on this thing because I don't want stuff that I have to try to get off later. So we're going to go Optimum Car Wax on here. Keep it simple. That's probably a bit much, but ooh, yeah, nice and crunchy. Really crunchy. Low pile side, the follow So at least we'll have something on the car this week in between. But I don't want to put some sealant or something on that's going to have a hard time getting off. There's no reason to, since we're going to detail the thing here shortly. Boy, life would be a lot easier if this is all you had to do to your car. Just do a quick spray wax and not worry about all the scratches and crap that are all over it. This is going to be fun. Hear that? That's how you know that it's contaminated. All that'll come right off. Now I'm starting to see what I'm working with here. There was a film of dirt on the car from the travel here, so I wasn't able to get a true look into what the paint looked like. I'll get the light out here in a minute, show you what we're working with. Not terrible, very easily fixable. But, you know, from the camera, this looks amazing. But in person, it's not so nice. So if you haven't watched all the other stuff on the M3, me talking about it, this was in, according to Carfax, in an accident in the parking lot. Supposedly and this is what the guy who owned it told me, that it was backed into, and so that's why he had them do a Euro bumper. The Euro bumper is one of those things I would talk about doing, but I probably wouldn't actually do because it's a pain in the rear. The good news is the rock chips and things are pretty much non-existent. There's a few little divots down here, but this looks better than my Raptor did. And my Raptor was clean. So I'm gonna go around, wipe the whole car down, and we'll come back and show you some of the other steps. Yeah, after drying this off, this is gonna be good. This car is gonna be pretty incredible when I'm done with this thing. I'm excited, and not a lot of imperfections in it. Not a lot of problems that I'm gonna have to fix. Just a few minor tweaks. This is Kinetech Showroom Shine, by the way. Putting this on the jams here, just cleaning it up. You saw me wipe these down earlier, so. But the paint is massively contaminated. I'll show you from afar how you see cars online, you see cars on Instagram, and they always look great. But then you don't really see what they look like. I'm going to show you what this thing looks like. It's what a regular car looks like. A regularly cared for, well maintained, but not obsessed level detail or quality. Just normal. Yeah, there's a couple of scratches. So they clearly took care of the jams. These were wiped down. Not so much this area here, but this is a well cared for car. According to normal, again, regular standards. Probably using typical products at the auto parts store. So we'll be able to make this a really amazing example. We'll probably need a good 30 hours or so of work to get this up to the standard. Got to do the windows too. And then we'll be in good shape to maintain it. I don't know if I'm going to coat it later. I'm going to put power lock. I really want to play with the G-Technic stuff a little bit more before I put it on a car like this that I care about. That I don't want to have to try to get it off of. I know it's a good product. I'm not questioning that. You know, I put it on my buddy's R8. But the question is whether I want it longer term. He comes back in a couple, I think next week, so hopefully I can get my hands on his car, wash it again, see how it looks after a wash. So like I said, this you can tell that he wiped out the jams. And this car was probably, from what I can tell, it's just over-touched. You know, this was a take the cars and copy and wipe it down too much kind of car. You know what I'm saying? Just too much touching of it, and that's why the paint is all scratched and swirled, and we obviously won't do that in the future. So it's not going to be a nightmare to fix. It's going to be very fixable. That's what I was hoping for. And that's why, you know, when Mike went and vetted it, that was his assessment as well. But there was a layer of dust on the car, and so he wasn't able to get, go out and wash it. I guess we could have, but we had to move quickly. There were lots of calls about this car. Luckily, the Carfax showing it had been in an accident scared enough people away. But as soon as it went on the market, I had it about 28 hours after it went on the market. Yeah, this thing definitely has some angel eyes on it. Wonder if they're Lux H8s. If they are, that's great, because then I won't need to change them. Save me 200 bucks. Yeah, man, we get this thing detailed. We start putting all the parts on it. It's gonna be awesome. But I gotta take my time. That's why I'm not rushing to detail it right now. I know I've got a bunch of stuff going on this week with the cabinets coming. I'm going down to do the Tom and Dan podcast again. And I'll update them on Obsessed Garage. I'm meeting with a guy to talk about building an app. So I talked about this a little bit, but I'm gonna create a membership program. And one of the things the membership program will provide will be free shipping and 10% off at all times. I think I can make it work. Combined with specific content, content that will be much like the vlog I did yesterday or 2 days ago. Do a lot of stuff like that and do it, like at least once a week, and really let you in on what I'm thinking about. Let you in on life and the real, and do that occasionally on the basic YouTube channel. Again, the YouTube channel will not go away. It will never go away. This will just be a supplement to that with some additional stuff over and above what I'm doing. And then I'd really like to create a message board on the app. So if we had a super cool message board we could all participate in outside of Facebook, I think that could be way cool. So anyway, I think the membership program is going to be, I don't know, I'm thinking it'll be something like 20 bucks a month or 200 bucks a year. And if you buy from the store often, a lot of people, I think the average order is like $1,000, so you'd be able to save a bunch of money there. It would create some regular recurring revenue for me to be able to help me, maybe hire somebody to help edit and improve my content, like get better angles on a video like this. I don't want to change anything. I just want to improve it. But yeah, I think that a membership program could be really cool. And we'll see. And I'm not going to do it on Patreon. I'm going to do it on ObsessedGarage.com and through my own app, if I can get the app developed. I think that our crew, us, Obsessed Garage, obsessed type people, I think we can make it a community and make it better. Make it worth, a modest sum. Make it worth paying for. All right, so we got some work to do to clean this up later. At least wanted to wipe it down. We'll detail it up a little bit when we get there. Let's look and see if we can figure out what these angel eyes are. Yeah, look like Lux H8 to me. Lux H8, nice, perfect. Don't need to mess with that. We'll adjust the level later. Cool. So if you're not a BMW guy, these angel eyes are like kind of puke yellow from stock. So this makes them look a little better. All right, let's at least wipe some windows down. Sorry, I completely forgot. I got totally sidetracked washing the car. All excited, and I had a moderator's Zoom meeting that I'd scheduled for Saturday night that I showed up super late for. Had to do an oil change. Maybe if one of you could either message me or comment below, what do I need to reset the service light on this without having to go to the dealer? I'm not going to the dealer to have my darn oil changed. And I need to reset the service light. One of you E90 guys, can you cue me in on that? I don't remember what I have to do. When I had mine, I was still going to the dealer because it was under, you know, maintenance warranty or whatever. As much as I hated that. I think I changed my oil at 5,000 on my own. I think what I'll do, I'll probably just do the interior tomorrow. It's getting kind of late tonight. This is just Griot's glass cleaner, which I'm going to be tackling probably next month and getting that up in the store. So we can do glass and interior. So if you can see what we're working with here, the body of the paint is good. We just need to then work out the specifics of all these scratches and swirls. There's nothing outside the routine that I've noticed walking around with a light. But we are going to have some work to do with just general scratches. Regular, you know, normal love marks from lots of touching. So if you can see the swirling, but it's not bad. It's harder to see on camera than it is in person. And we're going to get this all worked out. Sunlight is actually probably the best way to see it. From here it looks pretty good, but it's not. So there you can probably see that a little better. So that's what the whole car looks like. Trim, shadowline trim. So we've got some work to do. So you see what we're looking at here. Okay, so car looks decent. It's a good example of what a used 30,000 mile car should look like if it's in really great shape. So all I have to do now is do my thing. So we're gonna decontaminate it. First we're gonna strip it, then decontaminate it, remove the iron, get all the crunchiness off of here. You hear that? So we'll get all the contamination off. We'll see what we need to do, but we'll probably end up needing to two-step polish it. And then we can start, once we get the paint dialed in, the glass dialed in, all of that treated and protected, then we can start to mess with some of the things like exhaust and the tune and the suspension and the wheels and all of that other stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching the first wash, and I will see you on the next video on this car. You know what I might do is, what I'll probably do is tomorrow I'll do a video on cleaning the interior, just doing a normal sort of routine interior cleanup. I need to get the glass clean. There's all kinds of fogginess with the glass inside. Get the interior cleaned up, and then so I'll do that probably tomorrow morning and get that for you on a separate video. I'll probably maybe take it for a drive, give you a first drive, and discuss the car a little more, and then we'll start detailing it soon. So anyway, thanks for watching. As always, Stay tuned for more crazy. There's gonna be a lot of it on this car. What happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor, foot to the floor.